Hello and welcome back to another episode of Friday's Favorite. My name is Javier Cobas. This is Plasencia's Alma Fuerte and you are watching The Lounge. The most important part about the smoking experience is making sure that you have the right cigar. Gorgeous artwork on the label. Some cigars I've smoked and it's felt like I've bitten into a jalapeno. Getting licorice, cinnamon, nut as well. Smell was my favorite part. Oh, construction, baby, come on. Alright, hopefully I didn't mess up the cigar too bad with that little bit, but welcome back to Friday's Favorites, guys. First Friday's Favorite after the break. Ready to jump back in. The Alma Fuerte by Plasencia. It was rated really high on Cigar Aficionado magazine. I don't remember the exact number. Even we don't care what they have to say because we're going to go ahead and rate it ourselves. See if it's really worth what it says it's worth and lives up to the hype that has been set to it by many people of different places. I've heard that it is a very good cigar, very strong. It is right now 10:15 in the morning. Don't know how I'm going to do with this, but let's jump right in. Sight. It comes in like this hexagon roll, so it has 6 sides, obviously fillers in the middle, but very dark cigar. The hexagon shape makes it look even more badass. The color and the label especially kind of looks like a headband and a cape. The cigar itself, I see like this very straight line. Oh, that's right on the edge. So I guess it was box pressed with a box press that has the shape of a hexagon rather than a square or rectangle. It is actually not as brown as you would think. It has a bit of red hues coming from it as well, like kind of like maroon, burgundy. Again, the label, it looks very Japanese, kind of like samurai, like a cape. Looks like he's wearing one of those. And then the hexagon shape, I don't know if you guys could really see it in the video. And then podcast listeners, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to take my word for it. But it is box pressed into kind of like a hexagon shape. It is a very badass cigar to hold in your hand because it is so big, and the hexagon roll, it's a very unique big cigar overall. So in terms of sight, I think I really like it for maybe like a bachelor party, going out to a nightclub. Probably recommend it for something out with the bros. Not playing golf competitively, but maybe playing golf at like a big one of these places like Top Golf or something like that. Definitely recommend a cigar like this. I think that just about does sight. Let's jump into smell. You know when you open up a toolbox and you just get all this scent of like sharp rust and iron and metal? That's really what I'm getting from this right now. Like nickel coins, and like an old shed. A lot of spice on the nose. It's giving me allergies. It smells like an old garage filled with old car parts and tools. Definitely where I picture like this old man has worked his whole life building and fixing cars, and this is something that maybe he likes to smoke. He keeps it in his travel humidor so that he could, go ahead and puff on it whenever he feels like it. Reason I'm saying like old shed is because I'm picturing, as I'm smelling it, like thin wood, very weak wood, old wood, wet wood, dusty wood, mold in some places, and like humidity with like bad airflow. So I'm just picturing like this really old shed, maybe like a 10 feet by 10 feet garage, little built patio on the outside of a house, converted it into a garage of sorts, has one big door that is not even battery or machine operated. You have to open it yourself. There's tools everywhere just scattered all around. The lawnmower's there. Just a big fat mess, dust collecting everywhere with a Chevy in the middle, all rusted out, never finished to be worked on. And you're getting a lot of the scent of the metal from the tools and the parts, and then the wood, and then there's like old leather inside the car with humidity trapped in it, mold growing on probably the inside of the cushions. I got way too specific there, but it doesn't matter because that's exactly what I smell with this cigar in a very good way. You're getting a lot of culture, imagery, and isn't that what you kind of want when you smoke a cigar? Don't you want that imagery of like what you're smoking? And this is what at least off scent, this is really what I'm getting from it. A lot of thin wood and a lot of iron, metal. Alma Fuerte in Spanish is strong soul. So maybe like a strong soul, the strong will of someone who had to work their whole life, blue collar job, working on cars, working on machinery, working with his hands, And he's just an old soul with a very strong heart, strong will, and that's kind of what this smells like. That was honestly the best way to describe it to you guys, because you're getting a lot of these wood, and it's so boring for me to sit here and say, yeah, it tastes like wood, or it smells like wood, smells like metal, and that's it. That's all really what I got from it. But you picture this image of like, how would these two smells or tastes be able to get together? And then you come up with a scenario, and the scenario that I laid out to you, I think, is a very good one, because I think it perfectly reflects all the flavors or smells inside the cigar, and it is also true to them, because it is what I'm actually smelling. And I think that just about does smell, so let's move on to taste. Unfortunately, I don't have my Firebird today, so I'm going to have to use this Scorch. Very big flame. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, or obviously not on the podcast, but it is a very big flame, so I'm going to keep it far away and just very lightly roast the outside of the cigar. So very strong cigar right off the bat. The spice is really only present on the tongue. It is just the beginning of the cigar, so let's keep smoking on it. I am getting a lot of the metal right onto the tongue. I think that is some of the spice that's there. I'm getting kind of like a sweet flavor towards the back of the tongue, top of the mouth, towards the back of the roof of the mouth. It's kind of grapey right in the center of the mouth, like right in the middle of the mouth. It's very grapey. A little red wine I'm tasting in here. So there's kind of like an omnipresent taste of wood, specifically cedar, from the cigar. So initially the cigar was very strong, got a lot of flavor. Now it's kind of warming up to what it could be in the future, which is a very nice, easygoing cigar with a lot of flavor. And it's really getting to that point right now, because initially I got all this spice. I was overwhelmed by how much flavor the cigar was giving me. But now, 5 minutes into the cigar, 6 minutes into the cigar, everything kind of mellowed down. The cigar was just starting off. Now it's kind of in full gear, and I'm starting to really enjoy how it was smoking. At first I was kind of overwhelmed. Now I'm kind of easing into it. I'm starting to like what I'm starting to get from the cigar. Construction isn't doing too bad, but it is kind of uneven. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. It is a hexagon roll, box pressed into a hexagon, so I don't expect it to be necessarily perfect, but I don't know that I would trade construction for type of roll. I guess it really depends on what you're going for. If you just want to show off, then maybe you'll trade construction just to be able to show off the hexagon. But to someone who's at home smoking and wants to enjoy a good smoke, I don't know that I would necessarily trade construction for that. There was a sense that there was a lot of wood, which is true. And I'm starting to break down exactly what it is that I'm tasting. Kind of like this silky, cottony, dusty, leathery, maybe. No, not leather. Kind of like wool. So I'm starting to get the sense that we've walked into his home now, and I'm sitting in his living room kind of tasting obviously through the cigar, not going to sit down and lick a couch, but tasting through the cigar an old couch, an old living room with these big vanities, or whatever they're called, cabinets with pictures of the families, glass cups, plates, silverware, mirrors everywhere, a lot of gold and old wood, oak. Getting the sense that I'm in a living room with a lot of that. I think that just about wraps up the review portion of this cigar. It is now time to rate it. So, the Alma Fuerte by Plasencia on the lounge. The first episode of season 2. I've been waiting a while to try this cigar, I'm not even going to lie to you. Specifically because I wanted it to be the first time I try it while on camera for you guys. And I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was gonna be overhyped. I thought it was, not gonna be what I expected it to be. I think it just reached that. If anything, it didn't surpass really what I expected from it. So in that, I'm kind of sad, but at the same time, I'm happy because I discovered a new cigar that, for purposes which I explained to you, this specific hexagon roll, I think it would be really cool to take to bachelor parties and out with the bros and just places you want to show off a good cigar, because it is a good blend of tobacco and it is also a cool roll. So some cigars you have a cool roll, not so great blend of tobacco. Other cigars you have a great blend of tobacco, not so good roll, label, sight, that stuff. So this, I think, is a good combination of both, and for that reason, on the lounge today we give it a grand total of 8.2. 8.2. I think that's a fair score. I don't see this living up to the standards of the Eye of the Shark or the Don Carlos, or maybe even, I think the Don Carlos got a, let me look this up real quick. Wow, so The Don Carlos was only a step up from this. Obviously, it didn't live up to the hype of Flor de las Antillas and Eye of the Shark, which both are tied for first place in the lounge's history on Friday's favorite. Both respectively gaining 8.6s. This was an 8.2, so it's almost there, not quite yet, but it is a very good cigar. And I think that just about wraps up today's Friday's favorite episode. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned to the end of the episode. If you like what we had to say and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on the podcast, go ahead and favorite our station, subscribe to the channel. Once again, shout out to @Gables Cigars for sponsoring this video, facilitating the creation of the content that we give out to you guys. Go ahead and follow them on Instagram @Gables Cigars. And if you're not following us already, go ahead and follow @thelounge.media on Instagram. It's where we are most of the time. You get the previews and get notified right when it goes live. We also have the shorter version of the episodes, usually about 5 minutes long if you don't like watching the 10, 20, however long the episode is for the day. There will always be a shorter version out on the IGTV, Instagram TV. So, once again, thank you guys for staying tuned to the end of the episode. My name is Javier Cobas, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for Social Saturdays.